Does the Constitution actually provide for automatic citizenship for everybody? I think the evidence is fairly compelling the other direction. I think everybody recognizes that the 14th Amendment sets out two requirements for automatic citizenship. You got to be born on U.S. soil, and you have to be subject to the jurisdiction. We want to look for a meaning of that phrase, subject to the jurisdiction, that doesn't make it almost entirely redundant, excluding foreign armies and diplomats. And we don't have to speculate about this. There were two understandings of that phrase at the time. There was what we call partial or territorial jurisdiction. That's what we equate with subject to our laws. And there was more complete or political jurisdiction, to the extent that you owed allegiance to the country. Let me put it in modern terms. Suppose a British citizen is here visiting as a tourist. While within our borders, he is subject to our laws. He drives on the right side of the road instead of the left, or he's going to get a ticket because that's what our law says. But he's not subject to the more complete political jurisdiction. We don't call him for jury service or military service. We don't prosecute him for treason if he takes up arms against us. He's not subject to that more complete political jurisdiction just by virtue of his presence here. So the real question is, what did those that drafted and ratified the 14th Amendment intend? And here we don't have to speculate. The people that introduced the language on the floor of the Senate, Senator Jacob Howard, was asked this point directly. What do you mean by this? And the issue then was not illegal immigration, because we didn't have restrictions on immigration at the time, but it was about the status of Native Americans. Are the Native Americans going to be citizens? Because they are most clearly subject to our jurisdiction, both civil and military, was the way the question was posed. Senator Lyman Trumbull, who's one of the key figures in the 14th Amendment's passage, responded, quote, "Subject to the jurisdiction means subject to its complete jurisdiction, not owing allegiance to anybody else." Senator Jacob Howard, who was the one that introduced this language on the floor, said that it must be construed to mean a full and complete jurisdiction. Quote, "The same jurisdiction in extent and quality as applies to every citizen of the United States now." Now, what was in place when he said now? It was the 1866 Civil Rights Act, which said that everybody born here and not subject to any foreign power, excluding Indians not taxed, will be citizens. And so what they're doing is codifying, constitutionalizing that 1866 Act. And in both of them, the 14th Amendment and the 1866 Act, the jurisdiction they're talking about is the complete or political jurisdiction, not partial or territorial.